We are so pleased to have some inspiring young adults here to share their own stories of success with you. The moderator for this session, Philippa Dunn, is co-editor of 2 independent macroeconomic newsletters. So again, a bottom line focused person is involved in helping to tie all these loose ends together. And according to NASDAQ, and this is what I really love when you're talking about the bottom line, Philippa's research documents are known for their down and dirty analysis of job, wage, and debt trends, for their excellent payroll forecasts, and for taking apart invaluable but hard to decipher data. Please welcome Philippa Dunn.
So on that note, I hope in Elliot's words I'm at least somewhat coherent. Do I have to do something to it? Oh, okay. So I would like to introduce our panel here. Amy Wadsworth, who's the director of Next Work. Basil Harb, who's an architect and designer of the project. And our 3 peer advisors, who are all graduates of the Neuroversity program, Dylan Lamb, Arthur Cheadle, and Mason Dimmick. So I was... Oh, hold it. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So Dylan, Arthur, and Mason are going to take us into some rooms that they've designed. But first, I'm going to take a little bit of a detour into a room where a wonderful experimental composer spent quite a bit of time many years ago. I spoke with Stephanie about this in the past. We were thinking about people who are able to do things because they are differently abled, who have insights that are valuable and that need to be brought into the mainstream, which was also something that Elliot spoke about. Music and the arts is one really valuable way of doing that because it provides pathways sometimes when direct approaches are felt to be confrontational or some other way worrisome. When I was in graduate school, I was very lucky that Alvin Lucier, the composer I'm talking about, was the head of the music department. Alvin was a brilliant thinker, a brilliant composer, and he had a very serious stammer. I know a stammer is not the same as autism, but I do believe that Alvin was able to come up with this piece of music, to both conceive of it and to execute it because of his stammer, not in spite of it. So Thomas is going to help me courageously, because it's a little bit of an odd thing, by playing the first few moments of this piece, I'll tell you when, and then moving ahead so you can see what happens. In terms of what Alvin has done here, every instrument sounds differently, whether it's a voice or a string instrument or a room. A room can be an instrument, as it is in this piece, because of the overtones that are accentuated by the room itself, the shape of the bones in my face, the shape of the bones in all of your faces, and the harmonic qualities of the room. So Alvin had the brilliant idea to put what he was working with front and center. He recorded his own speaking voice. Then he ran it through a re-recording process, which is generational loss. Each time you lose some of the detail. And he then brought himself in line with, you'll hear his own words. So I'm just going to let Alvin speak, and then when he is finished, I'm going to just ask Amy to start. So you will hear first Alvin's voice, and then it's a 40-minute piece, so we're not going to listen to the whole thing. But we're going to move ahead and hear what he was able to engineer through his abilities. And I hope that maybe some of you will actually take the time at some point to listen to the whole piece. It's called I'm Sitting in a Room, and so this is his room, and then we look forward to your rooms.
I am sitting in a room different from the one you are in now. I am recording the sound of my speaking voice, and I am going to play it back into the room again and again until the resonant frequencies of the room reinforce themselves, so that any semblance of my speech, with perhaps the exception of rhythm, is destroyed. What you will hear then are the natural resonant frequencies of the room articulated by speech. I regard this activity not so much as a demonstration of a physical fact, but more as a way to smooth out any irregularities my speech might have. I am sitting in a room
Okay, so that gives whole new meaning to If These Walls Could Talk, yes? So it doesn't happen very often in an organization where we can build a program and then build a building to house it. So that's what we're going to do with the Hub of Opportunity. This will be a new space for Next Work, and you've heard a little bit about Next Work from Safia, and this is my baby, one of my babies, I guess. I've been involved from the beginning with Stephanie in particular in designing this program. And all the research that I did when I was first hired has contributed. And my roots are at the University of Utah, and I actually worked a lot with Scott and Cheryl Wright, and I wouldn't be in this position without their help. And they were my mentors when I was at the University of Utah getting my master's degree. And I'm also here because of my daughter. I have a daughter on the autism spectrum. Like Cheryl Smith, my daughter is more severely impacted. But she has totally shaped my life. And I have the fire because I have the child. So I'm very grateful to be here today. So working with these young men is a great privilege, and I wouldn't be able to do my job without them, quite literally. So we were talking about designing this new space and batting around a few ideas. And Dylan, as you'll find out soon, is he likes to speak in metaphors. And he suggested, how about the Next Work Horizon? So this name has stuck. This is what we're going to call our space. It will be the Next Work Horizon. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Hub, and hopefully you've got a flyer close by where you can look. This will be our new building that will be on 39th South and West Temple. This will be the home of Next Work Horizon. It's a mixed-use facility with some commercial space and some apartments, so Next Work participants can have a live-work experience. And this also, because it's centrally located, the Hub is going to open up the Wasatch Front to our clients. And they'll be able to, we'll be able to have really effective training sessions on how to use public transit for those that need that. And it's just going to be a fantastic experience. And community inclusiveness is one of the goals that we have with Next Work. We want to open up the community and bring the community in to see our wonderful clients and their gifts. And this is one of the things that Neuroversity does. Neurodiversity is a program that teaches young students how to use SketchUp, which is a 3D graphic design program. It's wonderful because it taps into the creativity of these students and allows them the ability to express themselves in ways that they may or may not be able to do with language. And it's also particularly good for our students that are really good with technology and are also very artistic. And you'll see that these guys that we have up here exemplify this very well. So Neurodiversity brings professionals in to teach skills that they use in SketchUp in their careers. So not only does it let them, create Pokemon or whatever they want to create in the 3D environment, or in this case, a dragon, but it also teaches them skills that can apply to the workplace. So these particular students that we'll be presenting to you today have all demonstrated creativity, the ability to collaborate, and they have demonstrated their skill in SketchUp. These students are also working with me currently as peer teachers. So they provide support for me, and they also help these students that are taking the class Digitability. And this is a class that talks a lot about digital literacy and how to use the internet, how to be safe on the internet, how to do job applications and stuff like that. So it's a wonderful program, and to have these guys be in the classroom as mentors and as support staff for me has been a wonderful blessing. So before we get to the guys, because I know that's why we're all here, I'd like to introduce Basil. He's been our partner in this project, and I'd like to have him share some of his insights of working with these talented young men.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you to Stephanie and your team for thinking of us to. Yeah, we'll do it this way. There we go. Okay, thank you. Better. I like this. Thank you. I was just saying thank you, Stephanie, and to you and your team for this opportunity. It's really been a fun time. I had to write this down because as I was brainstorming all the things to talk about in this process, there was so much really to talk about. I had to kind of keep myself on script so I wouldn't venture off too many tangents. So I apologize for reading this, but I will try to maintain eye contact as regularly as possible in good etiquette of public speaking. I'm Basil Harb, and I'm an architectural designer at Method Studio. I've been directly involved with the design of the Hub of Opportunity since Stephanie and her team approached us. In our design process, we rely on team building, collaboration, understanding of how people interact with their environments, and not being afraid to express ideas to come up with better solutions. We often get trapped in our ideas and want to hang on to them dearly. These characteristics, these skills are essential in a design process for any size project. During my first meeting with this group, I quickly discovered that these skills represent only a small fraction of Dylan, Arthur, and Mason's talents. In addition to being highly engaged in the process, they are eager to learn new concepts about architectural design. They thoughtfully contributed to the group's discussions. They thought through the design challenge creatively and critically and expressed an enthusiasm for the job at hand. They did this with a sense of confidence and easygoing manner that created an inspired and collaborative environment, which is not easy to do when there's a variety of complex ideas on the table. I had not even mentioned the fact that these guys have a great sense of humor. We had some good laughs during this process, and in my experience, really being open to having a fun design process really opens up the creative process to out-of-the-box thinking and great ideas and innovation. Honestly, I only met with this group about an hour to 2 hours per week on Monday afternoons. Early on, we outlined the functions of the space that they need to provide with specific needs of the user in mind. As future users of this space, Dylan, Arthur, and Mason provided thoughtful insight to the space design, which will prove to be a tremendous asset to the final product when built. Beyond my involvement, these guys were just cut loose and on their own. Very quickly, they organized themselves and assigned themselves tasks that would direct them to the next list of objectives for the following week. Each week, they progressively uncovered problems that needed to be solved and did so in a self-directed and effective way, leading to great solutions. Additionally, they implemented their knowledge of a variety of computer programs, which enabled them to collaborate virtually through real-time file sharing, express ideas through three-dimensional modeling, in this case SketchUp, and produce the graphics for the presentation that you're about to see. And with that, I would like to pass the time to Dylan to talk through this project. You're first, right? Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Great. I'm first. So the process there was a lot of steps that we had to go through, like Basil said about the process. The first part was just kind of deciding which building we do. There was a building A and a building B. Each one had different little trinkets and little rooms and little pizzazzes, and we went with B just because it just had a different look that we liked. The first week, we thought, why don't we just design the room where all the magic's going to happen, where the life learning's going to happen, where all the career stuff is going to happen, and where all the jokes are going to be the funniest, that we can't say outside said room. So after that, we each designed our own, then eventually, came back, saw what we could do better, took all our three stuff combined, put it into one. Then we did the same thing the next week, but instead of just one room, we did the whole Network Horizon. Same kind of jazz music where we combined our ideas, and we had some insights, and each of us did some cool, unique things. Arthur was as cool with his colors and just knowing what's all hip and whatnot, because he's the youngest. And Mason just is really good at making furniture. And I'm just okay with putting it in between spaces, knowing that hopefully that's enough space to get two people to walk through. Can two people walk through that? I don't know. Anywho, then after that, week 3, we came together, did some little final finishing pieces, finished it, felt good about ourselves. There were some bumps here and there, but no, I'm actually proud of our team because not only were we able to just get it done, but we thrived on our mistakes. Because apparently if you save something in a 2016 file when it's a 2017, you get issues. So we had to adapt, work together, which we did. And then week 4, all we did was just talk about how we were going to talk about this. And I don't know if you want to hear all the details of how nervous we got and everything, just talking to people. I'm going to stop blabbering and pass it on to Arthur.
Okay, so my job was basically to figure out how technology and everything would be incorporated into the classroom environment. So we took some of Mason's furniture and we put in multiple ideas of how the classroom could look and how the space could be utilized, and we thought about having multiple different types of tables, different types of computers. We thought of everything pretty much that we could put in. And we came up with a solution where we would have a mobile lab and we would just have multiple desks and tables that would be able to be moved out of the way for multiple situations. And Dylan was a big help for me because my files kept crashing. I had a lot of computer issues. I had to reinstall Windows a couple times. But other than that, I used Dylan's main file and I just created it, and I created multiple versions, and I pretty much just took what both of these guys did together and put it in my own kind of twist. And I thought it was really kind of interesting. One way you could have the tables is just a big open classroom for maybe Lego robotics. Another one would be maybe for SketchUp. You could have sit in groups on the first one and stuff like that. Okay, well, I don't really know what to talk about, so I'm going to pass it on to Mason.
So for this particular building, we wanted an area in which, you know, people could be comfortable but have it not be boring. So essentially, like, you know, in the middle area, it's already passed, but there's a receptionist desk and a bunch of couches where people can, you know, plug into their headphones. Or then there's also, we came up with the idea of a large dome over the area that could have, like, say, maybe the stars project, like a star map projected onto it. Then maybe we can have like star maps so that people can look at for certain constellations. So we thought that would be a really unique idea that would stand out. And then, you know, there's the bathrooms, and there's the office area, which we made really unique with the table for a place for computers and such. And then there are the professional offices, you know, there's the break room. And then that area in the bottom right corner there is a little game room, because we figured a lot of the people we know that use this kind of space really like video games, so we figure why not have a place where on their break or something they can relax by playing a video game or watching TV or just hang out and socialize. So that's that space right there. And yeah. So I'll hand it off to Amy here.
Whoever's going to take it.
Okay, so I definitely want to leave some time for questions because I'm sure you have questions about the space. But I do want to ask some questions to these guys first. I'd like them each to share. Are these mics on? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'd like to ask each of the guys to share how they got involved with Neuroversity and NextWork and how it has changed their lives.
How much time do you got? Nah, it won't be that long. Here, let me just. There we go. So, my mom one day was just kind of looking on stuff of, like, looking for help with autistic folk or something to help me out, either more college or more schools or just hold it all in. Then one day she's like, "Hey Dylan, I found something called SketchUp. You want to go to it?" "I don't know, Mom. I'm pretty busy. I got lazy round to do at 4. My schedule's just full." So, but I decided to go, where I took my first week of SketchUp, and even though I didn't make a lot of cool stuff, maybe like a Pac-Man and some weird shapes, it was really just eye-opening. And then from there, that opened doors to Columbus, which was just right next door. And now I work for their residential area for Columbus at Jones Court. And from there, I've also been helping with Digitability and this project and some other goofy things I probably can't remember right on the top of my head. But I can't imagine where I'd be right now if my mom didn't just say, "Hey, Dylan, let's get up for 5 minutes and check this out. Come on, SpongeBob will be on when you get back. Just put it down." All right, Arthur, you're next.
Okay, so for me, like Neuroversity and like the NextWork program really helped me just kind of open my eyes up. One day my mom came home with a flyer and said, "What class do you want to take?" And I'm going, "Where'd you even find this stuff?" And she kept bringing flyers and stuff until one day I finally said, "Just sign me up for anything you want and I'll go." So I got signed up for some 3D modeling classes over in Columbus for Neuroversity, and I had to get up out of bed for once. I had to wake up early enough. I couldn't stay up till like 3 in the morning anymore. But it pretty much just opened my eyes, and now I'm getting a bit of more help, and I'm actually getting out of the house more, and it's just kind of opened my eyes up to maybe it isn't so bad to go to these classes and test stuff out and just test the waters, and yeah.
Very good. Okay, Mason.
So when I was in maybe 5th or 6th grade, I was homesick one day, and my mom came home with like a disc that said SketchUp on it, And she said, these people came today and you were part of it, but you were sick, so here. So I played around with it and realized this is really cool. So I started going to more of what would become Neuroversity. And then, and then it led to a lot of cool stuff like this project, meeting these wonderful guys, doing like other employment things, like, being a peer teacher for Digitability, being a peer teacher for SketchUp stuff, and it has had a great impact on my life. So I'll pass it over to
Me.
you.
I'm the default. Okay, so I have one more question. So I think Dylan has shown, yes, he's very comedic, but he has this very profound side. And I think that when he said, why don't we call it Next Work Horizon? I think that was that profundity coming out. A lot of what we have talked about today has been, what can we do to ensure quality of life, to improve opportunity, and what is on the horizon for these wonderful people who have an 80% unemployment rate. And making these connections is so vital and so important. And I get almost mission statement evangelical about it because it really is close to my heart. You can see, how can you not care about these boys and not love these boys, It's just, I know, right? How can you not? I have a great job. And so I want to ask them, what do you guys see in your horizon?
I see myself kind of either in maybe the engineering, designing buildings or furniture, being a company doing that. Maybe have a cubicle that's 15 feet wide and not 10, so I don't feel smothered. That's all I'm asking, folks. Just one.
Right now, I'm just mostly thinking about colleges and going into like IT management and network management and computer sciences and stuff like that.
I'm thinking of maybe going into like maybe architecture or engineering, maybe building design, like Dylan over there, and yeah.
Okay. All right, I think we'd like to open it up to questions. And Philippa, will you moderate that?
Way to go, stealing her thunder.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to say one thing about the employment and participation rates and stuff. And that is that the main area where people are worried about tight employment is in high tech, the exact kind of thing that you guys are excelling at. So it's a total no-brainer, and I'm just so thrilled that it's getting taken care of here. So, who has a question?
I'm going to ask Dylan, you highlighted our residential services. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because these folks realize that we're putting people in employment and may not realize that we also do residential services. So share a couple days.
At residential?
How about this one, too?
Well, kind of just a regular day or the best day or the worst day, where we? Oh, well, a golden day is when we have everything all set up, the juices, the snacks all ready, all the toilet stuff is all ready to go. Clients that need like a shake or a med is all prepared. Everyone gets into the showers at the right time, no behaviors, no messes to clean up, unexpected or scheduled. Dinner gets made, we gossip about the day or what's on Facebook, why we eat. Then we just finish the last bit with doing ISPs, giving some last medications, and just wait until the night guy or gal comes. A little hard work. Sometimes it can be exciting. Sometimes it's just lazy because we're just too good. How much time do you got? Just kind of keep active. Always keep doing something, because eventually, like, I kind of just did some video games and dabbled in some art and I guess writing or something. But as long as you're just constantly doing something, eventually, and of course looking, you will eventually find someone or a flyer or two under your shoe, and you will eventually just kind of, figure out. So just keep doing your thing, and hopefully, you'll get there. Well, not hopefully, you will, because I mean, at this point, everyone kind of knows, right? Am I wrong?
You are right.
I am? Whew, good. I was gonna look like a fool for a minute.
Okay, what about the other guys? What do you guys think? What advice?
Yeah.
So which one you want to go first?
It's up to you.
Arthur?
Guys.
Okay. So, advice that I would give somebody younger than me would be to, basically what Dylan says, like, be active, get out there, make yourself known. Also get some, even if it's a little bit, get a little bit of work experience so that, while you're going to school, you could be like paying off that debt and making money. And then, yeah.
So what I would do is I would probably just tell someone younger than me to just keep doing like what you need to do. Don't stop and don't just rest. You have to keep going, because every time you go and you work, it's going to be 100 times easier in the long run than of just sleeping all day.
So all of you have career ambitions now that maybe you didn't have before. What role do you see for formal education, and what plans have you made to pursue getting the skills you want to have?
Guess we'll just go with me. Well, for me, I didn't really have a plan. I just kind of just figured high school, slick, and then the rest would just fall, because I think 2 to 3.5 years is enough time to try to figure out who you are as an individual and what can you do for society and what can you do so you can just feel all the good fuzzies and whatnot. So, but for me at this point, it's just to keep on trucking with this SketchUp, University, Network Horizon, and just keep hopping on them lily pads until I finally get to the other side of that stream, and hopefully not get hit by a log or a car or anything like that.
Frogger forever, dude.
So what I'm doing to try to improve my futures, I'm trying to take as many classes as I can while I can before I get too old and they won't allow me to anymore. But I'm trying to just get as much experience as I can, and then probably end up going to Slick and maybe go to a different university after, like, and transfer my credits over and figure out what I really want to do.
What I've been doing is, again, I've been looking at colleges. I've been, I've been getting jobs to kind of build that experience, and so I see myself maybe going to Slick for a couple years and probably off to a bigger university like the U or UVU or one of those.
Where do you guys think you'd be if you didn't have this program?
How much time do you got? I guess just where I was before, except with the difference of maybe still work at the theater, still live at home, not have moved out with my brother, still trucking. I think I'd still be funny, handsome, but I don't know, time is a real ant.
For me, what I was doing every day is I wouldn't even get out of the house. I was severely depressed. I was going in and out of uni all the time. I was on multiple medications, and just getting out of the house and getting this kind of interaction with people has helped me a lot with my social phobia and helped me deal with everything. So I probably would still be at home sleeping all day.
I really think that this program has made me the person I am today because I remember when I was in 4th or 5th grade, I didn't even know this stuff existed. So like this has really it's definitely built up my resume, it's built up my experiences both with this software and with social experiences. I met some great people and done some pretty cool things because of this.
So I see all three of you are peer mentors, and I wonder if you could each talk about some of the challenges you've experienced in helping others along your path.
Well, one of the challenges, sometimes some of the students might know a little more than you. So there's always that fake it till you make it method. You know, be like, yeah, exactly, exhale, and then what you just did. Great. One of the other challenges is sometimes each person is different from the other. So sometimes, for example, some of my charm could be put out as, charming or outputting. So just people in general can sometimes be the issue, and just reading how they feel about something, or making sure that if I'm saying something, it's not making someone have a mad face or a bored face or like just an angry, like just go home face. But yeah.
I just barely started peer teaching with Digibility, and I was taking a bunch of classes before that. But when I was teaching Digibility, a lot of these people, like, I still get confused about it, and they know more than me. And some people they're aging, they're about to be retired, and they just barely got put into these classes because they were just barely told that they have autism. And many of them still don't believe that they have autism, but they're taking the best of it as they can. And I noticed some of them snap a little bit more, and that's pretty much the only thing I would say that kind of.
Over my years of peer teaching, there have been a few difficulties, like like Arthur said, people, sometimes people snap, sometimes. But a lot of times I notice one of the main things is communication. Like, sometimes I'll tell somebody how to do something and, they won't understand, so I'll have to, think on the dot and think, okay, how can I explain this so that this person will understand and know how to do it? So that's, my main thing.
Could you repeat that one more time? What?
What were some of the strategies you've come up with to address some of the challenges you've had being mentors? So you mentioned some of the challenges, and I'm seeing that you're able to navigate through those. I'm just wondering how.
I'm going to repeat it for the audience.
Oh.
Okay, she's asking about what strategies you have developed, maybe specific strategies and specific instances that have helped you through the mentoring process.
Well, through me, it's just been personal experience. Since I've been a young lad, I've been placed to special ed shenanigan classes at Highland Park, Hillside, and a little bit of Highland High. So for me, it's just the experience, which experiences your successes and failures, mostly failures. So for me, it's just kind of just learning. Okay, I remember 5 guys like this before that would snap at me just because I mentioned frogs. I should probably not mention frogs ever. for these particular individuals. Or sometimes if I got that vibe where it's like, I don't want you to come near me, just leave me alone, I just say, you good? You need anything? They'll mostly just give like a short yes or no, and I'm like, okay, I'll just step back, let you make your dragon, and let you just eat those Cheetos.
For me, mostly I just realize that even if they're not right, they are right. You cannot get it wrong. They cannot get it wrong. You have to be polite to them. You have to be nice to them. You have to be courageous to them. You have to do everything for them and not for yourself. So even if you're just even if you know more than them, you always have to say, well, you don't want to have to do their work for them, so you have to let them do their work. You have to go help them and figure out how they're going to do their work. And you have to realize that they're not the same mental state as you. Some of these people can't count unless they're on their fingers, or they can't even count properly unless they use a calculator. Like 5 + 5 they don't know how to do. And you have to figure out what state they are on, and you have to figure out how you're going to help them. And they're right. You're never right. They're right, is what I've pretty much figured out.
How mainly, like, I do a combination of basically, you know, it's what these guys both said, like, you've got to kind of get to know them and know, you know, what they're like, because, you know, if I say a certain thing, then, you know, he'll get mad, then I'll learn that I probably shouldn't say that. Or if I know that this person learns better visually, then I know that I should probably show them an example.
So I go out in the community and talk a lot about Columbus and Antwerp and our success stories like you, and I often, people often ask me the question about how to ask people about their disability, because they just don't know what to do. And I just wanted to get a sense from you. You're so confident. You're happy to stand up here and say, I have been diagnosed with autism. It's given you these opportunities, but how do you, at what point did you become comfortable with self-disclosing that you have been diagnosed with autism?
Does anyone need that repeated?
The idea of self-disclosure.
How they became comfortable with self-disclosure?
Well, for me, it was just kind of told just straightforward, like, Dylan, you just have autism. Okay, what's that? Autism is insert blank here. Oh, okay. Does that make me special? Kinda. I mean, for me, it was just easier to accept because it was at a younger age. So, I mean, if I was older, then I'd be like, what? It's like, nah, that can't be. That can't, what explain? Nah. But at a younger age, it's just a lot easier just to, you know, tell them, hey, you got this. This is many ways to deal with it. You can either just hide in a rock, or you can just embrace it, go on with your life. Easy peasy, whatever fruit you like to squeeze, eat.
I was pretty much the same thing with him, and I feel like the only reason people have a trouble like disclosing that they're autistic or that is because the stereotype of being autistic is far worse than what it actually is. And for me, I was younger and I don't care. Like, I was worried when I was in like younger and like middle school. I was worried to tell people, but then I realized that I feel like everyone has a type of autism. Some are worse than others, but so why you should be ashamed of it, I don't really know why.
So I was like basically the same thing as these guys. Like, ever since I started school, I knew I had disability, and when I was little, I mean, you know, I was a little person, so I didn't really care. Like, I was just like, oh, that's a thing, and I just kind of went on with my life.
So what you're saying, Mason, is we're all infected.
Wait, I didn't hear that.
So we're all infected then, huh? No, there's no hope. We're all infected with autism.
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, great.
In my department, we call them autism sprinkles, and everyone has them.
That's adorable.
So like we're all like ice cream cones, and then we just have like sprinkles of autism on us.
We are, right?
But that's pretty.
In the back?
Hi, I wonder as we're talking about this, whether you as emerging adults are recognising the many and varied gifts you actually have now, and how you have the opportunity to share those gifts with people who don't have autism. Is that something that you've become aware of, that you actually have gifts that other people don't have?
Just now. I figured it out just now. My God. It all makes sense. The stars are aligned. You guys okay?
Just a little kaput right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just remember to breathe.
I love you, Dylan.
Oh.
Don't leave me hanging.
Two. Oh, didn't go down. Let it go down. 1, 0. And that's all the time we have.